Hi, Hiram here. I'm going to try doing some dry baking again today, but using a device that I found on eBay. It's called the Energy Miser Stovetop Oven, put out by G&S Metal Products in Cleveland, Ohio. It says that it bakes, toasts, warms, bread, rolls, buns, cakes, the whole bit. I contacted the company to see if this was still available. They had no clue what it was. So I think if this works, this might be something that we could just duplicate. It has two parts, a top and a bottom plate that either goes on a gas or an electric stove. I'm going to try it on my Trangia burner. This part could be, if this works, if this idea works, this part could be replaced with whatever your cook pot is over top of your muffins, and maybe just carry this along. But I also think maybe something like this. Now I'll put the dimensions down below. The weight on this is 440.2 grams or 15.5 ounces. So it weighs about a pound. So I think this would be more, just the way it sits here, if it works, would be more for a emergency situation or in a cabin. This would be really cool to use in a cabin type thing. Basically what it is the bottom plate has holes on the bottom that the heat goes up through, goes around in chambers, and then out through these holes. There's also a little well here that you're supposed to put water in if you're cooking potatoes or whatnot. I'll put the instructions on this down in the text area. So the heat goes up and then gets spread around up through the top. But because this unit isn't very tall, so instead of using the muffin pans like what I was using before where the diameter is small but the height is tall, I'm going to go the other way and go with a cake pan that's 6 by 2 inches, 6 by 2 inches tall, or 15 centimeters by 5 centimeters tall. This will go in like so. But because this is such a large pan, it covers up the holes and stuff, what I'm going to do is put a couple of wires in here to elevate it a little bit so that the hot air can get around. What I'm going to do now is I'll go get my batter ready. This has to preheat at high. Just trying to speed this up because it's going to take a while. I'm going to use the old Trangia. See how this works? This is the one that has the funny simmer ring on the top, but it'll go for full blast for about 5 minutes, it says, and then tone it down to a medium heat and put your bakery in. So let me go get my batter ready. I'll have this warming up. If the Trangia doesn't have enough alcohol to go for this whole burn, I can test out that little remote pump feeder to feed this without having to take everything apart. Hopefully it won't have to go that long. So let me get this started, get my batter ready, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think that's hot on there now. Let me just take off the lid. Ooh, yeah, that's hot. Put the two wires on. Now what I'm making today is the chocolate chip Betty Crocker chocolate chip muffins. Put that on there. Rolls. Put the top back on. And let's see how long this takes. Okay, this is what the flames look like on the old Trangia. I forget it's what, from back in the 70s. It has a different kind of a simmer ring on it, just a ring that fits down over the top. And this is supposed to be the simmer mode. Looks a little high. I haven't checked the muffin yet. We're working on 8.5 minutes right now. I think this might get done quicker than I thought, or burned. Hopefully not burned. But I forgot to mention that I'm doing it with the Mojo pot stand. Well, that's one of my favorite pot stands for the Trangia burner. I should have looked at this before and maybe used one of the other simmer rings, but we'll see what happens. So let's see where it goes from here. Okay, we're at the 16-minute mark. One thing, this handle gets very hot, so I'm going to use a piece of carbon felt for that. Looking good so far, but No, there's no way that that could be done yet. So let's wait until about 20 minutes and see what happens then. Okay, here we are at the 20-minute mark. Let's give it the toothpick test if it looks like it's getting near. Yep. Let me stick the toothpick in. Well, it looks like it needs a couple more minutes. This may be getting very well done on the bottom. So, I don't know, I'll give this maybe another 5 minutes and we'll see what it does from there. Okay, there we go, going on 25 minutes. Let's see what this looks like. Looks mighty brown on the bottom. Let me do the old... Now, it's hard to tell sometimes with chocolate chip, but that kind of looks like it's done. So, let's take this off. Whoa. Let's take that off. Oh, shut up. It's feeling, the probe is feeling the heat over there. Let me take that off. Let me put this out. Now comes the hardest part. Trying to put the Trangia out. Anyway, let's let this set for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back for the test while I fight with this Trangia. It's too hot now, it doesn't want to go out. Be right back. Okay, so there we go. The muffin's been setting for about 5 minutes. Like I said, that's the hardest part, to leave it set. You want it to get itself together and just set there. It'll come out of the pan a whole lot easier. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. We'll warm it up. But the muffin is pulled away from the walls, so that's a good sign. Let's see what happens. Cool. Very cool. I really don't think that's burned. It's just real brown. No, I'm not kidding. That's not burned. That's just good and brown. Can you see that? Let's see what happens if I flip it over. Whoa, still a little warm. Okay, here comes the test. Let's see what happens. Now, because this is wider than the other muffins, it's wider but not quite as tall, it probably baked faster and easier. That looks nice. For some reason, all the chocolate chips sank to the bottom. Can you see that? Hopefully it'll focus in. But that's a good looking muffin. Nothing wrong with that, and that was pretty fast. The Trangia was a little hard to put out. There was still alcohol in it. So with the simmering in the way, it just didn't want to go out. But what I ended up having to do was lift up the simmering part, take the O-ring out of the lid. Remember, always take out the O-ring. And I dropped the lid on there, and then I was able to blow it out. So that's a Betty Crocker chocolate chip muffin using the stovetop oven. This might be an interesting thing to try to duplicate since they don't even know what it is. Also, the pan that I used was a 6 by 2 inch or 15 by 5 centimeters. So it was a much wider pan than what I usually use. I was afraid if I did it in a small diameter pan, it might raise so much that it touched the lid of this. Another thing I have to do is this handle gets very hot. I think I have a slip-on cover. If I use this again, I'll try that. But I'm pleased with this, with the Trangia and this. Now, like I said, this isn't something for camping, believe me. It's definitely not a Graham Weenie item. But if you do cabin camping or car camping, I could see where this would be good. Surprised it's too bad they don't make them out anymore. I have to check on eBay. So anyway, I'm going to go take this, and me and Max are going to enjoy it. I thank you for watching. I look forward to your input, questions, remarks, helpful suggestions. If you've ever seen one of these things before or used them, please let me know. And as always, watch for my buddy Max. Bye now.